Cheers. I have a pound of sorrel here today. It's Christmas, so we usually have sorrel drink at Christmas. So the first thing I'm gonna do is wash these sorrel. Just gonna wash them. So I've finished washing the sorrel. So this is a nice red rich sorrel, and it's a tradition in Jamaica to have sorrel drink at Christmas. People have their own ways, but I'm gonna be using ginger and pimento and a cup of cloves. And you have to put the water on the stove to hot, but I'm gonna pour the water on this and then let it bring it to a boil. But I'm not gonna boil it, I'm just gonna what they call draw it. So but I want the water to reach boiling temperature. This is some local Jamaican ginger. I've washed it with a scouring pad and some dishwashing liquid, because you know ginger is grown in the soil directly, so there was some dirt on it. And what I did, I broke it into pieces so that anything that was too close together like this, I couldn't get in between, so I had to break it into pieces to ensure I got out what was in between. So what I do, I mean, this is really very clean now, and I could just crush it like that, but what I do is just to scrape it. So once the water catches it, as long as it's fresh ginger, the skin comes off quite easily. So I just scrape that off like that. Jamaica has maybe the best ginger in the world because it's very, very strong and flavorful. So you could grate this, but I'm not gonna grate it. I'm just gonna pound it with I cut it in strips first, and then I use just like a bottle with a heavy duty bottom that won't break, to break it up in smaller pieces. So I'm gonna fill up this pot with the sorrel with water. So it's about a pound of sorrel, just a little bit over. So I'm gonna just let it reach the level of the sorrel. I'm not gonna go over that. That's it. So this is how the ginger looks, nice and clean and pretty. So this is a half a teaspoon of cloves. I don't want to overwhelm the sorrel. So the thing about making sorrel really good is not to overwhelm it with anything, just enough of every little thing to get a hint of it, so that you know when you're drinking it, you're there wondering, I wonder what's in this sorrel today. And I'm gonna use the same half teaspoon of pimento seeds. These are whole pimento seeds. So when I'm ready to put in the ginger, I'll put this in. Put these in. I'm gonna rinse them off. I just like to wash everything. So the ginger now, this is too much ginger based on the amount of sorrel I have. So, but I don't know, as usual, I don't normally measure. So what I'm gonna do is cut it up and put it in this. Is a half a cup to see how much the ginger would be. So this is still a lot of ginger, so if you don't like a lot of ginger, you can maybe use half the amount I have here. So this is about a half a cup of ginger, so you could use a quarter cup, taste it, and then add more. Okay, so when you're adding more, you just put it in some hot water and add it to the ginger. So you could do it when the ginger is cold or so, or if you don't have any ginger, you could use some ginger powder or anything you have. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it in the smoothie cup, add a little water to a bowl just right here, the level here, and then I'm gonna blend it. This now is the amount of water I put to blend the ginger. You can use a blender too, but since it's just a little bit, I think the smoothie cup is much easier. So I'm putting in the ginger. This is it there. I'm gonna put in the pimento and the cloves now. Pimento and cloves. So once it starts to boil, as it starts to boil, I'm gonna turn off the stove and just leave it there and let the hot water just draw all the flavor and color out of the sorrel and the pimento and the cloves and the ginger. It's not something you should be boiling vigorously. Let me just stir it up a little. I want to show you that the water has started to get red. And see some of the sorrel, the petals have started to get a lighter in color. So when it's done and I strain off the sorrel that's left back, what I usually do is put a little hot water on it and then add some lime juice and some sugar and make a little drink with that. But I don't want to, what we call it, water down my sorrel. I like it to be nice and rich in flavor. Okay, I'm going to turn off the stove now. So here's the sorrel now. So you see how it's much lighter in color now because most of the color is now in the water. So what I do first, it's gonna be strained, but I like to take out the bigger things first, so I don't have too much bulk going on in the strainer. So I'm gonna use this. You can use a slotted spoon too and take out all of that, and then when I'm ready to sweeten, I come back. Before the final strain, I'm gonna use this fine strainer and just remove some more of this will be mainly the ginger that's in there. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm still gonna strain it after I sweeten it because I'm gonna be using brown sugar. So I'm using brown sugar, so I'm gonna add a cup at a time. So I'm gonna add a cup first. So it all depends on how much sugar you like. If you're gonna be having the sorrel with ice, because you know by the time you finish eating or so, the ice would have melted. So then you would put a little more sugar in the sorrel. But if you're just gonna have it chilled and with no ice, then you don't need as much sugar. So the other thing is, some people in the family cannot have as much sugar, so it's better to start with less, and then you make that, then you take out theirs, and then you can add the more sugar to the one that everybody else will be having. Let me just stir this up. What I usually do, I have my little cup that I just put a little in to taste. And that is okay for most people. That would have been fine. But I like mine with a little bit more sugar. This is one time I tend to have more sugar with my sorrel, so I'm putting in a half a cup more. just a cup and a half of sugar. I'm gonna mix again. I'm gonna show you how rich that is. Look at that. So rich. Beautiful. Okay, so now that I've finished sweetening the sorrel, I'm gonna give it that final strain. So I come back with a clean strainer, wash the strainer out. I'm gonna just, some people use like a cloth to get out every single thing. This strainer is fine enough, so I'm okay with this. So I'll just strain everything and come back. We're not done yet. Have one more step to go. So get out every last bit of it. So as you can see, we did pretty good with the initial straining with the small strainer, just twirling it around in the pot, because now I didn't have to like get rid of anything during the straining process. This is all that was left, which is in the strainer now. This is all that was left back in the sorrel. Okay, we'll go on to the next step. So the next step is to add a little Wray and Nephew white rum, and we're gonna add some red label wine. So as usual, I start with a little, and then afterwards whoever is drinking, if they want to add more, they can add more. I don't want to overwhelm the flavor of the sorrel, so I just add a little bit, just a little bit, maybe like about a quarter cup to a half a cup of red label wine. The white rum, I add like about a quarter cup of red label of white rum. Just mix it up, and then that's it. That is our Christmas drink in Jamaica. So if you don't add those things, then it's not really Jamaican. If you don't add the rum and the wine, if you don't have red label, use whatever red wine or red sweet wine that you might have, and then the white rum, well, whatever you like, just add it. But this is our Jamaican way of doing sorrel. Enjoy. And this is how I like my sorrel, with some ice. Lots of ice. And that's it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Cheers. Taste it with the ice. In Jamaica, they say, when people enjoy the sorrel, they say ginger when they drink it.